Hello everyone, my name is HJTenchi from Pixabay, and today we'll be taking an early look at Heroes of Loot by Orange Pixel. Heroes of Loot is an action dungeon crawler that strips away complex menu screens and inventory pages for straight action. Your little hero runs around destroying monsters, looting, and leveling at blinding speeds. Each floor is completely random, with items, secrets, and monsters randomly generated for a new adventure each playthrough. Since the game is in a very early beta, gameplay may change upon release. Developer Orange Pixel is hoping for a June release for PC, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android, and OUYA. OUYA is a new development console that is actually going to run a modified version of the Android software. Well, how about we jump right in and choose, let's see, we have our elf, we have our little warrior, our wizard, which is more beard than anything else, and our Valkyrie. You know what? We gotta go with the beard. I think we really need to go with the beard. So we're going to start out, and you have a very simplistic look to the game, which isn't a bad thing at all. It's actually going to have everything stripped out of it that doesn't need to be there for the, well, greater good of just getting straight to the gameplay. So enemies are going to randomly spawn. I'm just holding down X, and it's going to auto-target for me. Now, for some of you, especially the harder core dungeon crawlers or RPG likes, that might seem, oh, that's terrible. Why would you do that? It's actually not bad. The auto-targeting works out really well. Only a couple times have I seen that, like, okay, maybe I didn't want to shoot him, but enemies drop pretty quickly off the very first few stages. Later on, the game does get harder. I won't just be able to run around smashing enemies in the face. So, we're going to keep on going. Every level will have a certain amount of monsters we need to kill before it gives us the key to go through this door right here, the exit. Our gems are going to be just for score in the top, so 485, whereas the money is going to actually be seen in the top right and be used to buy things. Ooh, nice. So let's pick up the money that we got there. Let's finish looting things. That little blue potion is going to go towards our experience bar in the top left. We have a, well, I would say about a quarter of the way through the bar, and we're level 2. Right above the 2 is our dungeon key that we've acquired, and then to the left of the key and the red bar is our health. Here's our shop. Buy an experience scroll for 200. Well, we're not quite there yet, and unfortunately, unlike Zelda games, we can't just steal it and run off, and we can't shoot our little guy either. So we need more coins, so let's move on. Jumping on out. We're going to go towards our dungeon exit, which the only real obvious thing is that there's a white arrow pointing down to it. So you got to kind of keep a general idea of where it is on some of the later levels, but it's nothing that I've run into that's a bad thing. I don't feel... Oh, wow, one of the fire guys already? Wow, those guys actually have a lot more health and can be really annoying in small lanes. So as you can see, once again, very, very random. The game is going to be random every time. Now, some of the characters actually do have slightly different stats. In this build, it doesn't tell you what the stats are and how they differentiate from each other. But it's not a big deal. I feel that if there are differences, which the developer has stated, they're not so much that by picking one character or the other, I've had, like, a lot harder issues or a lot easier issues. So we're going to go through here. We will want to go back to our shop, but I kind of want to clear out the dungeon real quick. Now, one of the issues right here is like, okay, well, we're at the end, and there's no more enemies. Sometimes the enemies, because they randomly spawn, can kind of spawn a little bit behind you. They always spawn near you, but if you move really quick, sometimes they can spawn. See, like that one hadn't spawned quite yet. That'd probably be that, and then hopefully the game will eventually add in controller support. At first, it was kind of a little rough to get used to. I'm using the directional arrows and X to shoot, but you just hold down X. I mean, it's not a big deal at all. Yeah, actually, it makes us invisible, huh? I've never seen that before, so that's really cool. But I like the game. It's definitely more of a casual dungeon crawler than certain other games, but I don't feel that it's a bad thing at all. Oh, we found a fire rune, which will, as we hold down the attack, it's going to launch out a firewall around us in a 360 degree. There's also lightning runes and some other power-ups that are very useful. Later on, those runes can really make a big difference. They only last a certain amount of time, though. So, oh, our lightning rune, so it's going to do like kind of a 360 blast around us. So you want to actually just use it when you get close to stuff. Otherwise, that green bar on the top left will run out from the charges, and you won't have it anymore. So there is a lot of strategy involved in the game. It doesn't seem like it at first. Oh, we've rescued somebody, which will add to our score. Later on, there are quests we can pick up to pick up some of those and rescue them, which will give us either items or... Oh, here's one of our quests. So let's see what it gets. So this one's we have to collect 10 blue gems, which is new to me, and it'll reward us with a health potion. Okay, so instead of rescuing individuals, we're just collecting blue gems, which we won't be able to do on this stage since I've already cleared out everything. But it will last until either we die, stop playing the game, or succeed in the quest. So there's really no rush in it. A lot of times I've received shields from it, which gives you temporary armor. I've also received, I think I got a rejuvenation potion, which will actually slowly heal you. Very, very powerful, especially in the later games when it's going to get hard. Some of these enemies will not die very quickly, and then they're going to start shooting back at us. So later on, the strategy comes from not taking the health, which is the little hearts that we see every once in a while, the red hearts, and kind of, well, saving those for when we really need it. Also, there's always a luck issue with what monsters spawn. Oh, quest done. Nice. We got our health potion. What monsters spawn, what items you get from shops and quests, how many quests you get, and if you can find secrets, which I'll actually try and find. I've only found 1 or 2 because I wasn't even aware of them until I accidentally stumbled upon one. Kind of like a la Wolfenstein back in the day. There's really not a whole lot of ideas of where it's going to be. Kind of just run along the walls and hopefully you run through the wall. That might change within the later releases, but you just gotta kind of use your intuition and hope. Oh, there we go. Nice. Wow, that was a lot of loot too. So that was really cool. I'm really glad actually that we found one. All right, dungeons cleared. I feel we should go to our shop. Sometimes the shops can just contain items that we've already had. So like if you find like a titanium shield, which gives you a lot of armor, you don't want to necessarily pick up a wooden shield. Wow, regeneration potion. Nice. So in the top left, we're at max health right now, even though it shows like a little sliver. But that is actually going to regenerate as we take damage, which is very, very powerful, especially on the early levels. It makes it very difficult to die. Now, later on, that's not going to be enough to save us. As you can see, they're already starting to shoot back at us. Nope, nope. I'm going to get you. So we're just going around, looting stuff, getting fire runes, exploding people, completing quests for damsels. It's good times. It's good times. All right. Save 2 lost souls, and will reward us with an extra dungeon key. Okay. And from what I can tell so far, the dungeon key will actually go. So there's 1 lost soul saved. And the dungeon key actually will go from level to level. So you don't have to use it to get out of this one early. We can actually wait and do it. Quest done. Nice. We can actually wait and do it on the next level, maybe. Maybe we're just getting our butts kicked, or we don't feel that this dungeon is worth playing on this floor. I don't know. It's up to you. It's one of those games that, although it may seem very simplistic, it actually has a very kind of personal way of playing. You can play it how you want to play it, whether you rush through immediately or whether you kind of make sure you loot every single thing possible for either high score or to better your chances on the later areas. So let's kind of checking for secret rooms a lot now. Now that I found one right off the bat, pretty much, I'm hoping that I can find another one. A lot of times it can just be, oh god, mini boss spawned. Thank goodness we had that lightning rune. That lightning rune actually does massive amounts of damage and was able to kill that thing pretty quickly. And we do have our shop back here. Let's go clear some stuff out. As you can see in the top left, my health is pretty much staying max. Oops, we used the dungeon key early. Darn it. Oh well, that's not a big deal. Oh, and they're shooting over the wall. Darn those guys. Alright, so our shop has a dungeon key. Yeah, we'll take an extra dungeon key for 75. 75 coins. Pretty easy to pick up. Not something I'm too worried about saving. Since the only thing you actually do use the money on is the shop, there's no reason to really not spend it if you find something that you do want to pick up. Alright, so there we go. An extra dungeon key. And we're going to move on with the score of 5,488. Relatively low, all things considering, but we are still pretty early on in the game. Alright, dungeon level 7. I really like the little wizard guy. You can, depending, oh, another mini boss. Jeez, that's 2 in 1 run, huh? Nice. We're able to tear that one up pretty well, too. Getting, I believe, a lot of experience. I've never paid attention to how much experience each one gives us. You'll be able to see these little blue dots kind of home in on us after we kill an enemy. That's actually the experience we're automatically picking up. Same thing with those little potions. We're able to get more. Wow, another quest. Save 8 Doom Souls and we'll get a health potion. Okay. That's okay. Since we already have the rejuvenation potion, I'm not as worried about the health potions, but still, a little extra health, if we're not at full, is always a good idea. Okay. Do we not? We're gonna use the key and get out early instead of clearing that one out. I don't want to go back to the beginning and look for the couple enemies that we've missed, because a lot of the loot, from a kind of a speed run perspective, it's better to kind of get through it quickly, obviously, because that's what speedruns are about. But you're kind of going for the majority of the loot and the experience kills, instead of maybe going through every... Oh, wow, another mini-boss. Oh, he's kicking my butt. He's kicking my butt. Heals. See, they actually do damage later on. But going through and 100%ing every dungeon room isn't necessary if you have some extra keys and money to pick up further keys and health. Because we have the rejuvenation potion, I don't have to necessarily go through every single area of the floor looking for health, because we'll be able to regenerate anyway. Alright, what do we have here in our shop? Yeah, another key. This is cool. This is allowing us to kind of be a little less thorough, so we can kind of get through the majority of the area and move on. This will allow me to show off kind of the later stages a little bit quicker that way, and show you that eventually it does get stronger. Well, the enemies get stronger, the game gets harder. You get a little bit stronger too, but I don't really think that our attacks change, at least at this point. Being an early beta, there will be changes later on, and I definitely shoot a bigger blast that shoots longer, farther, and more often than... Wow, another one. Than when I first started playing. But I don't know if when we keep leveling it's going to get any different than the shots we're shooting right now. See, we're level 6, and it looks about the same. It may be different. It may do more damage, but I can't tell just looking at it. Alright, our shop. Another key. Cool. Once again, all completely random. I rarely run into this many keys. Usually it's actually a bunch of shields, which, once again, gives us armor. It's always a good thing. Oh, and we're going to be introducing these little traps. Oh! Man, I got trolled pretty hard there. And our quest is completed on saving 8 souls. Still not a whole lot of difficulty yet because of that rejuvenation potion. If you're watching that top left health bar, you'll see chunks get shot out of me if I run in and touch the enemies. Touching the enemies, getting melee attacked by them actually, whoa, does a lot of damage. See, right there, right there. Oh, God. Whew. All right, regen. Oh. Stupid enemies, die. So that's one of the things too. Maybe the hardcore. This may not be your cup of tea just because there is more of a hands-off approach to this. It's a casual dungeon crawler, which I haven't been able to say ever. So that's really cool. I like the fact that Orange Pixel is kind of going with a new idea for what is normally a really hardcore, very complex game full of large inventories and managing all of that and deciding what levels and skill points go where. I think those are great games too. Don't think these stack. I'm gonna hit escape. Whoops, or was it... Oh, I've forgotten. Tab? I forgot. There was a way. I thought it was escape. There, yeah, it is. So it shows our inventory. So it's very simplistic, very minimalistic, but we do have a regeneration potion. I don't have 2, so I'm assuming they don't stack at the moment. And our end was up here? There it is. All right. So now we're going to move on to, I think it was 10 or 11. The loading times are very quick because the game doesn't have to load extreme graphics or, you know, a lot of different algorithms. The game can load really quickly. So it's one of those things, especially for the iOS and handheld ideas. It's a great game to just be able to play, run through, have some fun. If you have 5 or 10 minutes, you just jump into this and have a blast. See if you can get a new high score, kind of run time trials. A lot of good times. So let's move on down. I kind of want to show off some of the harder enemies. Oop. Okay, there's actually, we saw the little flame guy again. Kind of reminds me of like old school Mario. There are water or ice types, depending on, there's blue ones that actually appeared later on that are kind of difficult as well. Kind of wasting my ice, or my fire rune right there, but That's okay, we'll find a lot. Some runs I found like runes just back to back to back, which is really cool because they're very powerful. But in the same extent, oh man, that fire guy was kicking my butt. See, like right there, the auto aiming wasn't the best. It wasn't bad, but that is maybe one thing that you will have to kind of focus on. Where you are positioned, it'll attack the nearest enemy. So if you're actually in a corner, you may want to be careful. Also, you saw the little arrow traps on the ground. Those, as long as you don't run into them, you're fine. You can actually shoot them and destroy them, so it's not a big issue. And the complexity of, oh, little Whomper guys, cool. I always wanted to show off these guys too. These guys can do a lot of damage if you get in melee range. Once again, you shouldn't be in melee range on a big enemy like that, but you know, depends how much you're paying attention to. And man, we are cruising through these floors because of all the dungeon keys that we have. Nice. Another level up. Once again, I would assume that it's doing more damage. We're taking less damage, shooting faster, have more health. With this build, though, the developer mentioned, though, that he doesn't have it implemented in exactly to show what each individual level does. Oh, there's one of the blue ones. Oh, and another thwompy guy. Lightning rune too strong. But there are differences between the characters, and I would assume as the levels grow, so do the characters' abilities and strengths. Nice dungeon clear. Whoa! Oh no, it was one of the blue guys kicked our butts in. Darn it. So just to show you real quick what the different characters are like, I'll show you the Valkyrie off for a stage. She throws little swords, and as you level up, the swords will become bigger and stronger from what I can tell, because these guys take almost no damage to kill, whereas later on you're going to see people like the pumpkins, the fire guys. Wow, another fire guy on floor 1, huh? And especially, see, look how much damage that's taken. So I would say that definitely proves that you do get a more damaging attack later on. If it doesn't cosmetically change, it's definitely at least behind the scenes doing more damage. Oh wow, no, that's those. Okay, so we're throwing our sword still. And for our last quest, what do we have? Better be something good. Better be something good. 66 coins. You know what? That's not bad. So for 66 coins, I will kill some skulls. Why not, my friends? But if you're interested in supporting Heroes of Loot, please check out the information in the video description below. And to keep up with my side projects, including live streaming and more indie games, follow me on Twitter at HJTenchi. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time. Dungeon clear. Yeah! Aw, she's cute.